you'll save me so can be alone. I'll be waiting for.
Oh, Rarity, my precious little marshmallow. Are you listening to Taylor Swift?
Are you caressing a picture of a pony?
Is that a guitar?
Yeah, I play electric.
Yeah, I have an acoustic. Do you want to jam? So, what'd you think?
Damn!